Have you heard that exercise is a bad word? I mean, I knew that diet was a bad word, right? And I'm not talking about a meme or a funny comic strip. I have genuinely been hearing that in the wellness arena, we are trying to move away from the word exercise. I was in a conference a year ago and they said we're trying to use words more like movement and fitness because it elicits a more positive experience than the word exercise. Comment below if you agree and you would prefer the word movement. That's what I've been using more in my language, and I have to agree. It does have a better vibe. I'm Steph Wagner. I'm a dietitian and I support bariatric surgery patients in their everyday life in between follow-up appointments with their team. In this series, I've been going through what I call the 5 pillars of healthy living. So far, we've covered water and meal planning and food quality. Today, we're talking about movement, and we still have sleep and vitamins to cover soon. Movement is exciting. It can be done in so many different ways. And that's kind of the age-old recommendation, is to pick what you enjoy doing. And that might be dancing, that might be water aerobics, it might be a bicycle, as long as your body is moving. The official recommendation for aerobic activity or exercise in general is 150 minutes per week. I find that sometimes I can do that and sometimes I can't. So I personally try to aim for 120 to 150 minutes a week. But this is why I like the minutes per week goal. Some days you can get a 30-minute workout in, and other days it's 10 minutes here or there. And on a beautiful day, you might be able to go get an hour-long movement break in. But it's a bigger picture goal. Instead of saying like, oh, this doesn't count if I'm not getting to the gym, for an hour at a time so many days a week, then it's not counting. But it's a better way of looking at, actually, I am getting a good amount of movement. It's just kind of sprinkled throughout the day. So that's how I approach movement minutes, especially when it comes to aerobic activity like walks, bike rides, dancing aerobics, things like that. I gotta say, I love me some jazzercise. The other thing is to talk about strength training. Whenever you're losing a significant amount of weight, you will lose fat, but you also lose muscle and bone. Bone is always a surprising one, but it is true that you have stronger bones when you have weight bearing down on the bone. So that means when you're losing body weight, you have less of your body to move around. You don't have as much weight bearing down on your bone. Certainly taking your vitamins, which we'll cover soon, making sure you're getting your calcium with vitamin D, very important, but also strength training helps to minimize bone loss. Very important because we're all aging. Same thing is true with muscle. Not only do we want to preserve muscle and not lose muscle when we're losing weight, we also want to ideally gain some strength and some muscle because, again, we're all aging, and having muscle on an aging body is much safer. So should you have any sort of injury or anything come on where you need to physically heal, having good muscle is very important. Also, muscle is a powerhouse for burning fat. So the more strength training you do, the more efficient you are at metabolizing and maximizing fat burning. Strength training can be very overwhelming. It can be intimidating to go get started in a gym or meet with a trainer. I like to team up with my friend Julie at Vibrant RD. She is a dietitian and a trainer, and she has a really easy to follow app that is kind of a DIY on your own, but has videos to follow her prompts on what to go do, and you can do it at home or in the gym. So I'll link her program below in case you're interested. Strength training has been awesome in my life. I also want to remind everyone that it will make the scale super confusing. So if you do start getting into a strength training routine, which is incredible for your health, please don't let the scale be your guide. It will make things really confusing, and if you're only focused on getting that number down, but not the changes that happen with gaining strength and muscle, then it can be defeating. So my recommendation is to pay more attention to endurance and how clothing is fitting, pictures, compliments from others, instead of just the scale. Okay, for any other tips on movement, check below this video and make sure and hit subscribe to my YouTube channel or to my email list. I'll be talking soon about sleep, which is a big one, and vitamins, and how all of this, focusing on your health foundation, helps to break us free from all or nothing thinking that we're on plan or off plan, but gives us a new perspective that one bad night doesn't change the whole foundation. We can be strengthening each of these pillars in their own way, and it makes the whole thing stronger.